Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share 5 reasons why you should not homeschool. I'm a homeschool mom myself, so when I say reasons you should not homeschool, I mean these are probably bad reasons that you should jump into homeschooling, and some of them pretty important, so keep watching. Now the first one seems common sense, but hear me out because a lot of people fall into this category. Do not homeschool if you do not really want to homeschool your children. I think that sometimes people fall into it. They think it's the best thing to do. They think they don't have any other options, but they actually really don't want to do it. So they kind of do it begrudgingly, or they are just agreeing to what their partner wants when they don't really want it, and they have all these responsibilities coming in on them and just feel overwhelmed, and that's definitely not the way to go into homeschooling. So if you choose homeschooling, you really have to choose homeschooling. That way there's no resentment there. The kids aren't feeling all of that, the fact that their mom doesn't want to be doing this or their father doesn't want to be doing this, and it'll just go smoothly for everyone. Otherwise, it's going to be frustrating for absolutely everyone. So just make sure you want to do it. If you need to buy things for homeschool, if you need to go on field trips, it's your spouse that's going to be involved in all those things as well. The second one is jumping into it without your spouse's support. Now, it's great if you have family support, your parents, your in-laws, family, friends, community, but that is nothing in comparison to having a spouse's support day in, day out, whether it's preparing curriculum, whether it's buying things for the homeschool field trips, and just setting up the time that it takes. You really have to have a spouse's support on something like this. Now, your parents and your in-laws do not have to believe in you and your homeschool cause, but you definitely should have a sit down with your spouse and make sure that you guys are in on it together. Now, the third one is if you are not willing to commit to the time and energy it takes for long days. It does take quite a long time researching curriculum, grading papers, planning field trips, and just giving your children what they need. It doesn't take very long to actually go through the process of the homeschooling day, especially once you get used to it. Sometimes it can only take a couple hours, a few hours, depending on how many children you have and what kind of curriculum you get. But maybe in the process when you're first starting, it might take longer, and some kids need longer time with certain subjects, and you have to sort of mold to that. It does take quite a bit of patience and personal sacrifice on your own time. The way that you get things done around the house sometimes is going to change, and sometimes you're giving up certain things that you like because you either have to homeschool or you still have to juggle a part-time job. You have to keep the house clean, and you have to figure out how you're gonna get the kids to help out with the chores. There's just a lot that goes into it, and you really have to figure out if you can put all that time and energy to homeschool with everything else that you have going on. Now, I think most people can make this happen. I just think that it takes planning and time scheduling things out so that the household still runs smoothly and everything gets done and the kids get taught and everybody's still sane. The fourth reason I'll keep pretty brief. I think it's worth saying, even though I'm sure other YouTube moms have shared this concern as well, but if your home is not safe, and I know that we as moms get frustrated, and sometimes we yell, or sometimes we're just not the most patient, but that's not what I mean. I just mean if they are going to be very verbally put in a bad position or physically, I won't say it because I'm here on YouTube, but I think you know what I'm talking about, then obviously that might not be the best environment for them to be at 24/7, and if it's safer for them to be out of the home, then you know that's a decision that you have to make. I just thought that was worth putting out there. Now, this last time is maybe you really want to homeschool, but it's just not the right time-wise and financially, and let me explain. There are plenty of families with lots of kids and one income provider, and they don't make a whole lot of money, but they're still able to make it work. Yes. Although if you are not in the position yet where maybe you need to still wait to change your job, you're still looking for the job that's going to allow you to do that. Maybe you still have to work. You have 2 working parents right now because you need to downsize, and you need to be able to still afford the mortgage and still afford to have your car and not have things taken away from you. Then sometimes it's just the waiting game, and as long as you are praying it out and you have hope and you keep your eyes open for new possibilities, the new job, the new opportunities that you can find around you. I promise that you can make it happen. Sometimes we just have to wait for those right times. So speaking from my own experience, I know what it's like to feel like I really want to do this. I just don't know how that's financially viable option, because I used to be a stay-at-home mom and it made it so much easier for me to be able to homeschool, although we were struggling financially. So I eventually did have to go back to work. We decided to put our kids into public school. Very shortly after, about a year into it, I realized I really just want to go back to homeschooling. I want to be home with my kids. It took me a couple years, maybe 2.5 years to find a different job, one that would allow me to be at home homeschooling throughout the day instead of having a full day job. It's something that I was willing to sacrifice. So I know what it's like to feel like you don't have a whole lot of good options and this is just really on your heart, but I promise, just wait on it, pray on it, and just keep your eyes open for those kinds of opportunities. All right, guys, that was my 5 reasons of why you should not want to homeschool your kids, although I think you should want to homeschool your kids just for the right reasons is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. I hope you guys liked it. I'll catch you on the next video. I love you, I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Also, I'm sorry I've been whispering like a weirdo this whole time. My kid is sick in the room, so he's getting his rest. My daughter's reading quietly, and this is like my only quiet time I have to do this today. So catch you guys in the next one.